Good day to you. My name is Michael Myers. Dude, I had to try this costume on. It's so awesome. I love it. So
Are
good.
you gonna go as Mike? Are you gonna go
That's
as
why
Michael
you should
Myers
watch
every
YouTube.
year?
I'm going to put my headset on. Hold on, I can't hear you. Oh, it's so fun. Yo, dude, I was dicking around, and I was trying to, find all my stuff. Because Trick or Treat is tomorrow. And I like to scare the neighborhood kids. So I have a really good Michael Myers outfit. So anyways, you're listening to PS This Is Awesome. My name is Fred Oakman. And with me today, as always, Mr. Jake Peters. And this is episode 349. And this is a show where we share our feelings about the current state of PlayStation. Jake, can you give me some audio? Can you say something?
Yes.
All right, I'm just making sure you're on there because I was having trouble hearing stuff. Got all wrapped up.
Maybe because you didn't have your fucking headphones on.
No, it sounds fine. Everything sounds great. You got to admit, it's awesome looking. It looks great. All right, anyways, before we get on the show, I want you all to subscribe to our channel on YouTube, youtube.com/PS This Is Awesome. We're one episode away from 350, and I don't know where our intro Halloween song went, so I'm not even using it. But I wrote this really cool, scary intro thing, and I should use it, but I'm not going to use it. You can write us at psisawesome@gmail.com. Most importantly, don't forget to share the show with your friends and leave comments and rate our podcast as you see fit. As a reminder, we're a video podcast as well. You can watch us on YouTube and check out my Michael Myers outfit. And if you're new or a longtime listener, we have a Patreon. You can support our show for $1 a month. The $1 level is called the One and Only $1 Club. It is the only option we have on there. Somehow, the Wizard of Oz found a way to give us $2. I think it's like the conversion rate or something. I don't know. But head over to patreon.com/PS This Is Awesome to become a $1 patron and get a free die cut, a vinyl sticker, and a shout out on the show. With that all out of the way, Jake, how are you doing today? We're recording this on October 30th, the day before Halloween. How are you?
Fine, actually. I don't know. I'm sure something happened in the last few days, but just kind of hanging in there, enjoying. Well, it's hard to enjoy the weather because it's getting dark so early now, but it's been really nice the past couple of days.
Yeah.
And
I got
other than that, I've been dealing with something. I'm freaking shoulder bugging me and stuff.
because you wrecked your bike last week.
What? Oh no, this is after that. I don't know if that was a week and a half ago. This has happened since then. I don't know if I slept on it wrong or it's from hockey or what, but yeah, I don't know. Either way, yeah, Halloween's tomorrow. I haven't celebrated Halloween in probably 10 years.
Lame.
Dude, there isn't a child that celebrates Halloween within like 3 miles of my house. So there's no trick-or-treaters. When we lived in Meadville, we used to give candy out every year, and it was cool to sit and have the kids come and see their costumes and all that. Really enjoyed it, but when you move out into the boonies, that's something that you sort of have to give up as part of the process. But yeah, I'm probably not going to do anything for Halloween. Yeah, to be honest with you, I haven't watched any Halloween movies.
Wow.
I haven't played any Halloween games. I don't know. It's just I don't know if time's moving by too fast or what, but it's not really my season. I mean, I'm more of a I'm more down with Thanksgiving and Christmas, but I enjoyed Halloween a lot more when I was doing a lot more partying. It was a lot more enjoyable, and I still enjoy the atmosphere and I love the idea of the movies and stuff. And usually every year we watch Friday the 13th or something like that. But or one of my favorite movies to watch on Halloween is like the live action Ninja Turtles movie, or some other kind of scary film like Halloween or Nightmare on Elm Street or whatever. Scream. We watched Scream last year, I think.
Yeah,
the first
Scream's
couple
great.
Scream movies. But this year I wanted to watch the new Beetlejuice movie because I think it's available to rent digitally. But it's expensive. It's like $20 to rent a movie.
Oh, it's
like
not cheap.
digitally.
Yeah.
Which is insane. I mean, you could go to the theater and watch it for that. And I guess that's probably part of the point, but I don't know. I'm sort of like kind of just floating through this holiday. I've just been so busy. Like every weekend we've been just stretched thin doing stuff. Like this past weekend, we were intending on coming to your guys' show on Saturday, but we were working on house stuff, and by the time we finished, it was just too late.
Yeah.
We couldn't get into town. But and like I was freaking strapped all day Sunday too, so it's just been busy. But otherwise, it's been good.
Good. Happy to hear it. Yeah.
How did the show go, by the way?
It was great. Man, they did a knock-up job, man. A really, really standout job with the stage. And Shaner had this $500 stage he brought in, and they had all of his huge light stuff and all of his huge sound stuff. And Man 68 were terrific. I'm not going to lie, Kanashi's not really my style of music, but those guys seem to really like us. And as did 68. They really enjoyed our band. I broke a string, which sucks. We played tight. It was good. The turnout should have been way better than what it was. There was maybe like 75 people there, which is crazy because if you look up any live videos of 68 playing like in front of like an actual audience, like it's fucking, elbow to asshole, no standing room. So the people who were at the show that knew of 68 got a front row seat to their magic. And it was so fun to see, there were people who came in from Pittsburgh and Buffalo and stuff. I think we were the only people from Meadville there. Like, no lie.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think that, I didn't recognize anybody at this show. And there were like 80.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, dude. Like, other than you talking about it, I saw like no promotion for this show.
Yeah, that's weird.
Even on like social media.
Well, that's
stuff,
the bullshit of social media, because I know Matt paid money to have it sponsored. Like he's paid like extra money to have it show up on people's feeds, but that shit's such a fucking crock.
Well, to be fair, that's a very niche kind of genre of music.
Yeah.
Like it's, so, and I'm not saying that there aren't a lot of people that like them, but to be honest with you, I've never heard one of their songs. But I've heard that Keiyonashi band, they're fucking wild. So like I can understand them having limited draw, at least in our area. But yeah, it's interesting. I'm glad that you guys had fun though. I mean, I saw a couple pictures and it looked pretty cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was interesting because like it was like one of those things where we played and we got nothing but like positive feedback from everybody who was there. It's just not our scene. So we didn't really sell anything. We have those new t-shirts. Like it's just people, 68 were selling t-shirts for $40. Ours were $20 and they sold I don't know how many t-shirts, we sold none. Right. And it's like, wow. And they were new ones. So it wasn't like the hometown people already had these shirts. It was like, people it wasn't their style. But I went outside and there were two dudes said they had made the trip from Pittsburgh. And they were just like, man, you guys were freaking fantastic. Like, where are you guys from? We were like, this is our hometown. Like, oh. And then they were like, man, you guys sound like you should be like, touring with like Hot Water Music and Leatherface and be on Equal Vision and all these rad references. And I'm like, wow, thanks. Yeah, I wish we were. No, this is what we're doing instead. But it was really cool to see a big band come back through town, and big props to Matt for doing it and Jason for running sound. It was a really nice time. For anyone who's listening, we're playing Voodoo again this weekend on Arch Street with Tear from Grace and some other local metal bands. Like I think Gelatin Skeleton's playing and some other bands. But we're playing second to last. We're doing, like a 40-minute set. So we're going to be running through our stuff. It's not going to be $30 to get in this time. I think it's like $5 or maybe $10 or something. But that's going to be fun. So we're excited to play again for sure. And just take it as it comes. And, the weather's been unusually warm here. It was in the 70s today. It was really warm yesterday. So unfortunately, there's not a lot of outdoor stuff that I need to have done here before the snow starts flying. So I've just kind of been taking walks. I haven't really been running much like I had been. That kind of hit the back burner lately. It comes and goes with my mood or whatever. But things have been good, man. I'm just finishing up my 3D printed HeroQuest board. Like it's pretty much all done. I just have to paint a couple of the floor tiles and get all the doors painted and put in. And man, what a beautiful masterpiece this thing is. It's absolutely a work of art. It's great. So excited to keep doing that. And we are progressing through the Spirit Queen's Torment campaign. I think we did a double header this past Sunday. We did 2 quests. So I think we're jumping into quest 8 or quest 9, and there's 14 of them. So that's been fun. I'm getting ready to wrap up that campaign and jump into the next one, Return of the Witch Lord. So that'll be fun. But yeah, man, just keeping busy here, trying to write music when I can, and play video games. So speaking of video games, why don't we talk about games we're playing, Jake? Every episode, you and I talk about games that we're playing, if we're playing any. And I'm happy to report. Happy to have a report here to everybody. I did beat the Casting of Frankstone. The game did get better at the end. And I had like three or four people die. I think there was a little bit of backlash on this game because it was a joint effort with Dead by Daylight. Sorry. It was a joint effort with that world. I believe just about every game, no matter who dies and who lives, ends pretty much the same. Of course, there's different story beats that get you there, which are wildly different. The journey can be really, really different, but the ending is ultimately the same. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but I did enjoy it towards the end. I was like, yeah, and that trick with taking off motion blur and stuff definitely helped with the frames per second. So I don't want to say it fixed it completely, but it made a big difference on that game. The game was running staggeringly slow and choppy feeling, 30 frames. Which in most cases wouldn't bother me, but there seemed to be some input lag and stuff, and made the quick time events harder. And I think I had a guy die because of it, but it was a good game at the end. But I would not recommend this to somebody if they are looking for a story-driven Halloween scary game. This is, maybe a $15 game or something. I wouldn't spend the $50 on it that I did or whatever I spent. But I did enjoy it by the end of it. And part of me kind of wanted to go back and use their replay vault. After you beat the game, you can go back and look at all the different nodes of the decisions you made and pick any point and then make different decisions and try to see it through. And I was gonna start at like the very end of it, just the very end. My last decision, change that, see where it took me, and then go back 2 decisions, and then go back 3 decisions, and try to just kind of slowly get them all. But I was like, this is way too much. There's so many decisions to make. But that game's good. But as promised, I retired that game, and then I'm working my way through the Dead Space remake. I'm about 5 hours in, and I'm on chapter 4. So I'm not quite 5 hours in, but I gotta say, very similar to Callisto Protocol, developed by the same guy, I think. Brainchild of the same guy, at least. A lot of similarities. I do think that they did much better with Dead Space. I don't know what it is.
Systems are a lot deeper.
The combat feels better.
Yeah.
I think they could have had it. I mean,
I don't know. I think the Ishimura is a better environment too than the Callisto prison or whatever. Not that it wasn't cool, it was, but
it felt more like a level than a game.
Yeah, like in Dead Space, they also have all of the like disembodiment stuff with the enemies, and there's more strategy and like the types of guns you use and the upgrades and all that kind of stuff. It's have you gotten to any of the 0G sections yet?
Oh yeah, yep.
So there's that part of it too. You don't have any of that like you don't have that like wonky dodge mechanic that was in the Callisto Protocol.
Yeah.
But yeah, I vastly prefer Dead Space, but I don't think that Callisto Protocol is as meh as a lot of people do. I actually really liked it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I did play through the Callisto Protocol also, and I am going to see Dead Space through. That'll be my other Halloween game this year, and I think that's just fine by me. And yeah, I think that the one thing that I think is kind of cool that seemed creative, probably way more at the time than what it does now, but there's like no HUD, and that's cool. That's nice. And then the other thing that I really like about it is it's reminiscent of an old PC game I brought up once a long ass time ago, in that when you communicate with the different people, it pulls up like this hologram of them just talking to you, and it's like an overlay. And there was a game way back in the day called Terra Nova, and it was like a mech game. And like a lot of the story beats were delivered through live action telecom stuff while you're playing the game. It was weird. Like you would hit points, and then like you would see like this fuzzy screen come up, and like a real actor just being like, "Hey, I saw you just cross the blah 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 blah. I'm taking some heat, And it was like, wow, this is kind of immersive. But they implemented live action into that game way back in the day, and it was cool. But just the overlay thing, where like you hit certain story beats, and then your hologram pops up, and you're talking to your other buddies or whoever's on the Ishimura with you. It reminds me of Terra Nova in a very, very not even very adjacent way. Like it's just for whatever reason it makes me think of that game. But yeah, man, I wonder if I look it up. But that's what I'm playing. I'm enjoying Dead Space Remake. It handles really well. It's never froze. It didn't really like. I don't know. It didn't really. It's not like blowing my mind, but I will say that the atmosphere is just better. The sound. Now this is the remake. This isn't the original, but it's just cool. I think
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just something kind of cool about it. Looking up Terra Nova, it was called Terra Nova Strike Force Centauri. It was a 96. Came out in 1996. A tactical first-person shooter video game developed by Looking Glass. It was in a science-fictional depiction of the 24th century, a faction of humans who colonized the Alpha Centauri star system to escape from hegemony, a totalitarian Earth government. So it's kind of cool. It was way ahead of its time. The characters, the story, everything about it was awesome. It said that it sold 100,000 units, but this is on the Wikipedia page, but it was a commercial failure because it didn't recoup its development costs. The designer later characterized the performance of the game as a disaster. But it was acclaimed by critics. People who played it loved this game. It was really, really fucking good, man. It was really a good game for back then. Yeah. I'm sure.
Is it a mech game?
Yeah.
Is that okay? I'm like looking at images of it right now.
Yeah,
it's pretty interesting.
They said a lot of people were comparing it to MechWarrior 2 back then. but I don't know if it was developed to be a MechWarrior competitor, but the squad mates that you would always go out with, they were AI driven. And you could give them orders to hold positions, take cover, rush enemies, and it worked. And this was in 96. This game was really ahead of its time. It was a really, really good game. There's 37 missions in this game.
Interesting.
Yeah, dude. If you ever get a chance to play this game, I don't know if I'd recommend it, but I know I was fucking all in when that game came out. I had like a map of the Centauri planet I was on, like looking at the topography and like trying to navigate it and like setting waypoints, and like it was fucking awesome. I keep getting really weird sounds on my Patreon, so, or not the Patreon, but the Discord channel. So if the listeners are hearing that, I can't stop it. It's just happening. So you just have to deal with it. But Jake, what about you? What are you playing?
Dude, there's a Terra Nova Strike Force Centauri. It's like ported. You can play it on Steam right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
yeah,
that's
I was just
awesome.
looking at it. Anyway, so I'm still playing, obviously, Metaphor. I'm gonna be playing it for a while. It's still good. I just got through the second major dungeon. And I'm like in the holding pattern kind of couple days before you kind of move on to the next area. Mm-hmm. There was something that I wanted to say about it, but I can't remember. I still really like it. I don't really have much else to say about it other than if you're into these types of games. Did I talk about like one of my big beefs with these types of games last week about like the dialogue stuff, about how many dialogue boxes there are?
No, I don't. If you did, I don't remember you doing that.
So one of my biggest beefs with this game is, one, they do this thing where, and the game is great, don't get me wrong, but there's like just some like just like presentation stuff that drive me crazy. Like they do this thing where only certain things are fully voiced, and sometimes things that aren't fully voiced, it'll be a whole dialogue box full of dialogue on the screen, but the voice actor will just like say the first word or huh, or like make a noise or something like that, and then it'll like you have to read the whole dialogue box. I would rather you not have that fucking sound at the beginning, because it gets really annoying. Just let me fucking read it if you don't want to do a full VO. Mm-hmm. That's totally fine. The other thing is there's a system kind of like the personas in this game called archetypes, and you can unlock any of the archetypes for any character. You just have to like basically pay for them with this magic currency that you get. And if you want to buy one of these archetypes for a character, you literally have to click through, I think I counted 11 dialogue boxes before that purchase is made. It's like it comes up, like you click on it and it comes up and it's like description of the archetype. And then the next dialogue box is, this archetype can make you awesome. And the next dialogue box is, do you want this archetype? And then it'll come up and be like, do you want it? And you say yes. And you're like, okay, this archetype will make you awesome, but it costs money. Do you still want it? And then you say yes. And then it's like,
are you sure?
This archetype has made you awesome, and here's some fucking philosophical bullshit for 2 or 3 dialogue boxes. And then it'll bring up a confirmation that's like, you've learned this archetype. And it's literally like I have to click through fucking like dude, this is just it's a store. Like, it's just a simple fucking thing. I don't care about this little mini animation that happens whenever I unlock this. I want it to be like a storefront where I literally go in there and I'm like, yep, I fucking want that power, like in a skill tree in any other game, and just click on it, spend the money, I'm done. I don't want to have to sit through all this shit for, it doesn't take that long, but it's like a couple minutes of like fucking around and all this stuff. And I know they're trying to make it look and seem epic and everything, But it's like all these little things like this, they stack up and they make the game longer. It's like the game is already going to be, I've heard like 80 hours, but I wouldn't be shocked if like a good 5 hours of that is sitting through unnecessary shit like this.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I don't like about it. It's frustrating, and I know that's like I'm curious like what your brother thinks about that idea, because I know he's really into these types of games. I know he's been freaking neck deep in this game. He according to Sarah, he loves it. But it's like, I know that's it's like a cultural disconnect probably, because a lot of JRPGs do this type of thing. But dude, these games are crazy, and like the story is fucking like bananas. The second dungeon, like the boss you fight, and everything's like, it's wild. It's really fun. I'm really enjoying it. But in addition to that, I've been playing the new Call of Duty, Black Ops 6. And I have a lot more thoughts about
Game Pass.
No, I got it on Game Pass. Because I was going to cancel my Game Pass, and then I saw that it was going to be on there. So I was like, fuck it, I'll play this first, and then I'll cancel my Game Pass. So I have a couple of things that I want to say about it. First,
we got to write down what you're playing here.
It looks great. Even on I have the cheaper Series S console. I don't even have the full bore Series X, which is kind of comparable to the PS5. Mm-hmm. And it still looks great, and it runs flawlessly. 60 frames. I haven't had any hiccups. It feels great to play, just like any other Call of Duty game. It's very like macho and military, which is like, okay, I kind of expected this. But like the character animations and like the graphics and all of that, like with the people and their faces and everything, it looks really good, even on like the console that I have. So I'm curious if somebody had like a jacked up PC, how awesome this game would look. The shooting is fun. I mean, it's Call of Duty. I'm really bad at this game. I don't know if the last time I played a Call of Duty game was probably Black Ops 3, or what was the one with Kevin Spacey in it? Was that Advanced Warfare or something like that? From like, dude, I don't know, freaking 10 years ago. And dude, I just like, because you played one recently, right? You played like Cold War or something?
I don't know.
Which I know is a couple years ago now, but
I don't know what one I played.
But dude, I don't know if you can understand what I'm saying when I say this, is that like, I feel like I can't see the enemies. Like I'm getting fucking killed and I can't see them because they're like, it's realistic-ish. So they're like just blending into the background, and then just their heads poking out from behind cover, and like they're flanking you and shit, and like, and this isn't a problem with the game. This is just me sucking at it.
Right.
And so what I end up doing is like getting behind cover and doing freaking snap firing with the aim, because it does a lot of auto aim shit, and it does help. But I might have to, dude, I'm on normal and I feel like I've died a lot. And which is, and I'm like I said, it's me. It's not the game. I don't think that the game is overwhelmingly hard. I think it's just me struggling with it. But it's been fun to play. It's way different than any Call of Duty game I've ever played before. Like when you pick up, like when I played the earlier Call of Duty games, like the first one, for example, it's like you pick up the MP44, or you pick up the Tommy gun, or you pick up the fucking Car 98. Whereas in this game, every gun that you find in a level that an enemy drops is different. It'll be like, there's like a bunch of weapons that are like the standards, but even in the campaign, all of the guns that you find will have random mods attached to them. And so like you might kill an enemy and you pick up, he's got this like submachine gun and it's like totally bone stock. And then you kill the next guy and it might have the same submachine gun, but it has a suppressor on it, or like a fucking reflex sight, or it might have a fast reload mod or something. So you constantly are like, so to me it's a little bit overwhelming of like figuring out what. First of all, I don't know what any of these guns are because I haven't played this game before, so I don't know what to pick up. But I'll pick up a gun and it'll be like, oh, this gun is sick, and then I'll find another gun that's called the same thing and I'll pick it up and it'll be totally different because it doesn't have the same mods and shit on it. So it's a little bit weird to navigate. There are. So I don't know, I'm maybe a few hours into it, but I will say, one thing is that I just got to this mission that just kind of booted me into like an open world, and immediately I was like, oh no, I don't want to play this. And that's really unfortunate. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad at all, but for me personally, I just wanted to play a fucking linear Call of Duty game, shoot some shit up, save the world for like 6-8 hours, and be done, and move on with my life. But this game is like the first few missions, I'm doing that. I'm going through, I've got an objective, I'm doing this spy shit because it's Black Ops, and then I get to this mission and it's like, oh, you've got to take out all these Scud missiles in Iraq. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go from one to the next, and I'm going to do them or whatever. And then it's like, okay. And the mission starts, and you're at this base, and they're like, here's a vehicle, and here's a map. And you pull it up, and it's this big fucking map. And there's like all these objectives and random side shit to do, and like all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, can anyone just make a fucking linear game, please? Like, even Call of Duty is doing this shit. And I understand it. Like, I'm sure like once I get in the groove and I start doing some of these things, it'll be fun. But it's like Halo did it with Halo Infinite. It's like, I don't want that in this game. I want to play a fucking story and be done with it. And people are like, oh, the story's great in this. This is a great Call of Duty campaign and everything. It's like, I believe that. But it's like, you know, I went to, so I was like, all right, I'll go to this little side mission thing was on my way to my objective. So I was like, all right, I'll stop here. I get out of my vehicle. I go, and it's like, oh, there's a downed U.S. plane. You got to help these soldiers because you're like in the middle of Desert Storm, basically. And so they're like, in the downed plane, there's a computer where you can call in airstrikes. So Go get that, and then help us defend this area. And it's like this little mini side mission. I'm like, cool, whatever. You know, pretty much normal for these types of open world games. So I do it, and you get this little computer, and you call these airstrikes down, and you like guide these missiles in to all these vehicles that are showing up, like these APCs and stuff that are trying to shoot you. And I'm like, all right, done, completed the mission. Well, I accidentally blew up my fucking Jeep in the process of dropping all these missiles on the location that I was at.
So you had to walk.
So I had to literally walk for like 5 minutes running to get to my next location in this like open, empty fucking area. There was nothing in between me and them. I literally just running through the desert completely by myself to get to this next location where I can kind of beat up one of these Scud missiles or whatever. And it's like, guys, like, why do we have to do this? Like, at least give me an ability to just fucking, if you're going to make it like this, give me like I could bring up the map and just spawn a fucking vehicle and it just drops out of the sky and I can get in it and drive to where I want to go. Because like, I don't know if they're trying to artificially inflate the game length or they think this is what everybody wants. And maybe this is what everyone wants and it's just not for me. But I was really bummed to just see how open it was. Now I'm going to stick with it because it is fun to play. And we'll see if it like, it might be like a Last of Us Part 2 kind of thing. Or you know how there was that like open world area, but it's like mostly linear. Mm-hmm. Hopefully it's maybe something like that. So I'm going to keep going with it. The one other thing that I will say, and I don't know if you have any experience with this or not, is that, dude, they fucking broke this Call of Duty in terms of how you actually play these games. It's like a launcher now. Call of Duty is like a launcher on your console now. And so like, I was like, all right, I'm going to preload Black Ops 6. And it's like, your install is going to be 500 gigabytes. I'm like, what?
Yep.
And then it's like I look at the install list and it's like Call of Duty. It doesn't say what Call of Duty. It just says Call of Duty. And then under that is literally 250 gigs of add-on packs. It was like 20 different add-on packs. I was like delete, 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 delete. This install was still 200 gigs, which is fucking insane. And so I finally do that and I get into it and it's like it's got like 3 Call of Duty games installed. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't need Modern Warfare 2. I don't need Modern Warfare 3. I don't need the multiplayer for both of them. I don't need fucking Warzone. So I'm like deleting all this other shit. It's like all I want is the Black Ops 6 single player campaign. I delete everything else. I left the multiplayer installed. Not that I'm going to use it. It just was there. So so the only thing that's on there now is the fucking Black Ops 6 shit. But the one final thing that I will say about it that was like, this is like one of these things that makes me just not even want to play this fucking game along with this launcher shit, is that Black Ops 6, even the single player campaign requires you to be online and logged in. And so because it's the new game and Call of Duty is the most popular fucking thing in the world, the servers are clogged up and it's fucking slow. And every single time I try to play this game, I have trouble like getting logged in. It takes a few minutes. And then once I take a few minutes to get logged in, then I have to boot Black Ops 6 and then Black Ops 6 boots. And then I've got to boot the Black Ops 6 campaign and then the Black Ops 6 campaign boots. And then I can fucking load in and finally play. But it's like, I can't even do like a suspend resume with this. Because every time I suspend it, even though it's a single player game, there's no way in the single player campaign for another person to enter my game. I cannot suspend the game because the next time I come in, it'll have booted me from the online and I have to re-log in and do all this shit all over again. It's like Destiny. If Destiny were strictly single player and there was no ability for anybody else to play in your game. It's like, what's the point? I do not understand this. Make the single player fucking allow me to play it by myself. It's single player. Allow me to not have to be online to play the fucking single player game. This is a trend that's going to continue, I think, and I'm really not stoked about it.
You're
because
heated right now.
Dude, you know how frustrating it is to be like, oh, I've got 5 minutes to sit down and play a game for a little bit, while Sarah's finishing up dinner or whatever. I'll just play, a couple checkpoints of Call of Duty or whatever, and then I boot up my Xbox, and it's like, Call of Duty has to update. Oh, and now Call of Duty has to restart. Oh, and now you're logging into Call of Duty. And then now you're logging into Black Ops 6. Oh, now you're loading the campaign module of Black Ops 6. By then, fucking 15 minutes have gone by. Dinner's ready. I just fucking turn off my Xbox, and I eat dinner, and I'm done with it. It's like, guys, what the fuck? I mean, I get it. I'm probably the minority for this type of thing. Most people probably don't care. Most people only care about the multiplayer, so you have to be online and fucking mod it up and shit for that
You'll
anyway.
love your big ass baps, yeah.
But like,
I don't know, dude.
Man, it's just frustrating. I'm sorry. That was a little bit of a diatribe, but it's because underneath of it all is a really fun game to play. But it's like, why do I have to jump through all these fucking online hoops to be able to play a single player game? It's insane.
Good question. And we'll touch more on open world shit in a little bit with the news, but let's get into listener feedback, everybody. Every episode we will go over listener feedback if we have any. We do have some listener feedback, and this was a nice read. And this was through our Patreon site. And again, you can subscribe for $1 a month. P.S. This is awesome. Patreon.com/PS This is awesome is how you get there. Like prescript_N leaves us a little bit of feedback. He says, hey guys, I went to the We Were Young festival last weekend in Vegas. Saw a little bit of your bros from Hawthorne Heights set. I know Jake mentioned seeing Underoath recently, and they were great as well. I love the early 2000s emo punk talk you guys had about Amberlin. Keep up the good work. Hell yeah, man. Very cool. So that's cool.
Yeah, dude.
That was a huge fest.
I think AJ texted me. Or
LJ.
AJ. LJ texted me. I play hockey with a guy named AJ. He texted me about the Amberlynn thing too. I think I forgot to respond to him because it was like at a weird time. I wasn't near my phone, but yeah, about the Amberlynn thing too, which is pretty interesting that people are connecting with that.
It's so strange. Yeah, such a deep cut.
Dude, that fucking that festival was insane. Like the tickets were expensive, and it was like there are so many people there. And I didn't go, but it looked awesome. Like there's so many great bands playing there, and a lot of them, because of the nature of the festival, were playing like their hit albums front to back, which is really cool. Like one of the bands that played there, that Prescripten, I don't know if you would have seen them or not because they're really small, that I was stoked to see on the bill was a band called The Forecast from they're from, I think they're from like Indiana or something like that.
I played a show with those guys.
And yeah, dude, they play. So like, I heard of them. The way that I heard of them was they played at freaking the Hangout in Edinburgh, and I just happened to be at the show. Never heard of these guys before, and they played their set, and I was like, oh man, that band was pretty good.
Yeah.
And so I ended up getting their album or whatever, and that album that I got from that show at the Hangout in probably freaking 2006 or whatever the hell it was, they played it front to back at this festival like 20 years later, which is like so cool. Like I love the idea of I hate the idea of going to a festival, but like if it was just me and nobody else was there, I would be so cool. But like the idea of wading through like thousands and thousands of people and like and all of this.
Weezer played. No, that was 2025. Damn it. That's coming in 2025. I'm trying to find the 2024 lineup.
Yeah, I was just fucking looking at it. It's
here we go. Dashboard was there. Taking Back Sunday, Day to Remember, Chemical Romance, Fall Out Boy, Jimmy Eat World, The You, Simple Plan, Coheed, Underoath. Who else is there? Man, The Forecast, there they are. Cartel, they were great. Senses Fail, Starting Line, Motion City, Bayside.
Man. Freaking even bands like, the Wonder Years and shit were there, which is just crazy. Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, which was another Emery, freaking
Seosin, hell yeah.
Seosin, yeah, freaking.
That's awesome. Not
Armor for Sleep,
and out of nowhere, Not a Surf played their hit song Popular.
Say Anything, hell yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, so this is it's a really cool idea, and I bet this whole thing was probably put on by people that grew up in that era.
Oh, for sure.
And they were just like, yeah, let's do it. I think this coming year, like Blink-182 and like some other,
Weezer,
obviously other
Panic
big
at the
bands
Disco,
are playing Weezer. And,
well, what's weird is is like, and not to make it about me, but when we played that show with 68, some people were coming up to us and they're like, man, you guys sound like a lot of shit we grew up listening to, like a lot of good old school punk rock stuff. Like, and I'm like, okay. And I'm starting to think that like, we're not in the right era anymore, our band. Like the style of music we're playing, it's almost like a novelty now when people see us play. They're like, wow, you guys are doing a thing that used to be a thing and you do it so well. No one's doing this anymore. And it's like, oh, cool. Yeah, we are. We just haven't aged. Like, we're still doing the same shit.
It's just so funny. Like you would never go to a show and hear a screamo band anymore. But if you remember like the old show days of the early 2000s, it was like every fucking weekend it was punk rock bands, screamo bands, hardcore bands,
Flatiron,
and that was like
Hair, and
dude, it was awesome. It was so awesome.
And the bands were good though. I mean, like a lot of the bands were good, even like the no-name bands that just were like local dudes. They were all good.
It just sucks that like it's weird to me that music. Now maybe there will be a time whenever history will repeat itself.
There'll be a renaissance.
That trend will come back around. But so much shit now is just like
cookie cutter,
artificial, and like, you know, I don't know. I'm not saying there aren't good bands out there anymore, but you don't see a band like Night Marathons playing fucking stadiums or anything like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's just
weird,
not
like a rock and roll band. Here, so the weird thing is like, and then we'll move on because we got some shit to talk about, and it's already almost 7:30. But it's one of those things to me that's like, and I know every genre, there's idiosyncrasies, there's meticulous little things that bands do that set them apart from other bands in that genre. But I'm not a metal guy. I'm not a hardcore guy. I'm not into that stuff. It never got its hooks in me. And every time I hear a band that's hardcore like that, the only exception really for me is Drug Church, or a band that does a lot of things with weird time signatures, and you know, they mix things up throughout their song, and they do almost math rock hardcore. That stuff is cool, but like, it's talented. Do I want to listen to it in my car when I'm trying to drive somewhere? No, because there's no fucking like constant rhythm for me to sink my teeth into and get into. A lot of that stuff is so technical that I respect it, but I would never want to just listen to it. But a lot of these hardcore shows that I find myself at, because we get billed on a lot of them, and I mean no disrespect, but it all sounds so samey to me. And it's just like, man, I can drop it to D or drop it to like even C, and then we'll just do kind of like a and then everyone in the pit just starts doing their fucking pick up the change thing, and then you know, they go back to the beginning and they go back to the halftime, and then the song's over and someone's just screaming their lungs through their throat, and it's like the next song comes on, it's like you know, and it's just like the same thing for 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And it's like, I don't even understand what I'm missing here. And I mean no disrespect. And it's just like, man, there's so much there that could be so cool. And it's like some of the stuff that I've heard, like 68, for example, they weren't that. They were more White Stripes meets progressive punk. But like that Kanashi band, they have such a good band. They do some time signature stuff, and they do some really tight stops and starts and things like that, but like that aren't really as conventional. But still, the majority of the bands that I hear are just what I explained. And it's just like, come on, guys. Just color outside the lines a little bit for me. Just show me something a little bit different, you know? But like, the audience loves it. I mean, you look and everybody's just fucking slam dancing and picking up change and throwing their elbows and doing cartwheels, and it's like people are just having fun. But like, as someone who wants to hear something, I don't know, refreshing and something interesting, the Drug Church band is amazing to me. They're not that kind of a band either. So I guess maybe I just don't understand it. So it just never really sat in my wheelhouse. But I don't know. It's kind of frustrating though. That we're getting billed on a lot of those kinds of shows, because we're not that band. And everyone who hears One Off by Land at those shows are like, wow, you guys are fucking good. But at the end of the night, we're not selling a single t-shirt. We're not selling any albums. It's just not their thing, you know? So there's a mutual respect going on, and it feels good both ways. But man, we got to find some other bands like us to play with. That's all. End of rant.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. But it was fun, regardless. Let's move on to some news. Every episode we talk about some news. We pull most of our news off of pushsquare.com. And I'm seeing some weird stuff going on our document here. I'm not worried about it. All right, here we go. First news point is that we have now gotten our PlayStation Plus games announced for November. Those games, in no particular order, are Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharged, Ghostwire Tokyo, and Death Note Killer Within. I think that Hot Wheels Unleashed was actually pretty cool when it came out. I haven't tried the second one. This will be an opportunity to give it a go. And Ghostwire Tokyo, I think, Jake, you did play that, didn't you?
Yeah, it was good. I really liked it.
Yeah. And I don't know what Death Note Killer Within is. Any comment on these games?
No, I'm sure Hot Wheels is fun if you're into that type of game. Ghostwire is definitely worth playing, especially if you're looking for like a late. I guess this wouldn't be it would be a late Halloween game, I guess, at that point. But it's really fun. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say it's a 10 out of 10, but I really enjoyed it. And so, if you're looking for like a ghosty kind of really different first-person magic shooter kind of game, it's worth playing for sure.
Cool. All right, well, let's move on to the next news point, man. And this is kind of going to piggyback off of what you were just talking about with Call of Duty. Just the reference of the game, Call of Duty 6. There were QA testers through Activision that were asked to return to work. I guess they've been working from home and whatnot. And as a result, around 30 of these employees, part of Activision's QA studio, walked. They were like, nope, we're not doing this. This is ridiculous. And apparently the workers were told, regardless of doctor recommendations or severe medical conditions, everybody was expected to return to work. Weird. The game's doing really well. It's one of the best Call of Duty game releases in a long time. So it's kind of a bummer. I've got two different minds about this. And I guess, like, without getting into what I do personally for a living, there are, with COVID, everybody started working from home, right? Everybody. A lot of people not everybody, a lot of people got to work from home. And people reinvented their infrastructure. Companies, issued laptops. VPNs were set up. There were all kinds of things for confidentiality set up. People finally were able to just wake up in their PJs and go work from their desk at home. And, in one aspect, that's great. Quality of life goes through the roof. In another aspect, probably from management's point of view, is like, this is really nice that our employees are happy. But as time progresses, I feel like humans inherently just start to, like, you give an inch, they take 2 inches. In 2 years, they've got 4 inches, in 6 years, however long. You know what I mean? Like, they just, you're given liberties, and then you start taking things for granted. Not everybody. People in general will do this, though. I'm not saying all employees. This happens. Do you say, because this is an issue, we can't send people to your house to make sure that you're doing what you're being paid to do, that we're just going to bring everybody back? And then I wonder if all of a sudden, when this was said, I'm just speculating, I'm not saying this is what happened, all of a sudden doctor notes started showing up saying, I'm not mentally able to come to work, I'm not able to, I need an ergonomic chair, an ergonomic desk, and I have that here at work, or it's home, and I have a dog that is whatever they call those dogs that are their emotional support dog that you guys won't allow me to bring to work. It's at home, so I need to stay here. They all may be accurate, they all may be real, but I would think in the real world, not the video game industry, just in general, because I've seen it firsthand, that when people are asked to come back to work after having such a long leash to be able to work from home, it's always a fucking fight. It's always a fight to get anybody to come back to an office once you let them work from home. Like 9 times out of 10, it's a fucking fight. And the reason is the logic kicks in. Well, if I can do this from home, why are you making me come back? And it's like, well, good point, But at the end of the day, we're still writing your fucking check. And if we want you to be here, maybe you should show up and be part of the team. You know, I don't know. I'm not saying that these folks are wrong. I think everybody should stand up for themselves and advocate for themselves. And chances are what's being done to them is absolutely fucked up. But at the same time, we don't know the whole story. At least I don't know the whole story. And I don't know. Jake, what's your take on this? Do you think do you think that,
I mean, I don't
like this, Jake, listen, if you have a legitimate doctor's excuse that you can't come to work, maybe you have pneumonia, maybe you have like, I don't know, maybe you have like a fucking insulin thing drip, a morphine drip that you can't get to work or something. Obviously, I would think that they're going to say, stay home. We just need a doctor's excuse and you can, you know, we'll figure it out. But I mean, like, I don't know, man. Maybe not.
I mean, so I don't know how deep I would get into the whole doctor note thing, because that's a whole bag of cats. I mean, because it's like, you know, like, I don't know how you really handle that situation. But my big thing is this. You were hired as an employee to work at this company. If that company requires that you be in the office, you have to be in the office. It doesn't matter what the reasons are. Especially the people that were working there before COVID. All these people, if they were working there before COVID in the office,
right,
and then they allowed them to work from home, it's like, I could totally understand ABK being like, COVID's over. We're back to business as usual, which means you have to come back in the office. And I'll be honest with you, I know this might piss some people off, but
I'm sure I pissed some people off, so be it.
Unless you are somebody who is like a freelance writer or one of these things where it's like you work for yourself or by yourself, and you require zero input from anybody else or any other team productivity or anything like that, there is no way that you are more efficient as a team working remotely than you are working in person. It's just not possible. When you're in person, you can literally just get up, talk to somebody real quick, do things. And whereas, like, dude, how much, probably, I'm sure you have a lot of experience with it. It's like the freaking,
disregard, that's my radon detector.
What is that?
It's just broken.
Oh, okay. So, dude, like, in my opinion, Teams meetings have fucking disrupted everything. You know, you take all this time to get into meetings, and then, like, some people don't show up, and, like, all this stuff, and then you have to have another meeting because half the people double book their calendar and, like, all this other stuff. And I'm not saying that doesn't happen in the workplace, but, like, if you're in an office and Jim doesn't show up to the fucking meeting, you walk up to his cubicle and say, Jim, get the fuck in this meeting. And then you guys hash it out real quick. You can look at stuff together. You can do this, that, or whatever. I'm sure that there are ways to work efficiently remotely. But think about, like, if you need something from somebody real quick, it could be a 2-second walk to somebody's desk and have a conversation with them.
Right.
Or it could be a whole day of you trying to get a hold of them on the phone, or trying to get a hold of them on Slack, or sending emails that they're not responding to, or this, that, or whatever. So I totally understand why companies want people back in the office. Not to mention they have all of this physical space that they're paying for.
Yeah, they're renting out these offices.
They want you to use it.
Right.
And I'm not, like, I don't really care if the company, you know, makes money or not. I'm much more for the worker than the company. Sure. But for me, it's like, I'm just realistic about the fact that it's like, you signed up to do this job for them, and your job is to Like, if your employment is at that facility and part of your job is to work at that facility, then you need to work at that facility. I mean, they were doing you a favor by letting you work from home during a crisis. And I'm not that they were doing you a favor. They probably would have made you come into the office if the government didn't force them into it. But I think part of the reason why it's now 2024 and they're just now forcing people to come back to work fully is like they knew this was going to be a problem, so they've been slowly trying to keep people to come back. Like, I know, like, my brother, for example, he worked from home for a long time, and then it was like a slow build where it was like, okay, now you're going to come into the office 1 or 2 days a week, and then now you're going to come into the office 3 days a week, and now you're in the office 4 days a week. And so over the past couple years, but all this is being said with the fact that I don't know anything about these workers' relationship.
Same, yeah, I have no clue, dude.
With the company, it could be to take the flip side of this argument. If this company if these workers have an agreement with the company that they are allowed to work from home under certain conditions, and the company is denying them that right, that's an entirely different argument.
For sure.
But if the company, and to be honest, with the whole doctor note thing, that is all down to like
HR, company policy, like, internal rules,
company policy, like how much sick time you have, like what is considered to be something that's discriminatory. That's why I didn't want to get into that, because that's a whole nother.
Well, it is a whole nother thing, but I mean, like,
thing.
I have seen it firsthand at my work where people who have had no issues are told they have to come back to work, and all of a sudden they've got a doctor's note saying they can't. And it's just like, yeah, okay, this is kind of ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Well, it is one
and
of
you
those
can
things
develop
too.
An issue, sure, but when you see this kind of shit time and time again, I'm not taking sides. I'm just saying you have to be realistic about this kind of thing. You know what I mean? There are people that are going to take shortcuts to get out of doing work, and there are people who are going to much rather. Dude, I would much rather probably work from home 9 times out of 10 because it is more comfortable. If I want to get something out of the fridge, I can go grab something out of the fridge. If I want to make some hot tea, I can make some hot tea. If I want to have the lighting the way I want, if I want to have a podcast in the background, I can have it. If I want to, you know what I mean? Like, it's not because I'm trying to get out of doing work. It's just like there are the niceties of like being in your home that it's a luxury. You know, but it's not what I signed up for, you know? So it's just like, if you're allowed to do that, like you said, Jake, I just think like people just need to stay grounded and recognize that, like, you know, this is kind of like a bonus to get to work from home. Unless the contract you sign says that I am going to be able to work from home. I know people who work from home who are tired of it, who want to go back, that actually aren't even allowed to go back on the flip side. They're just like, we don't have space for you. And they're just like, I just want to socialize. I want to be around my coworkers. Like, this is so lonely.
Well, and
it's a weird thing.
Also, like, I'm sure like part of it is too, you know, these people are saving probably tons of money on things like transportation costs and vehicles and, you know, bus tickets and all this other stuff. Going out for lunch and paying for that and all this kind of crap. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like we're being awfully dismissive of the workers, but at the same time,
it does sound that way.
It really boils down to, because I was kind of looking at the Push Square article that I'm assuming that you're referencing in the news point, and it's kind of got a weird spin to it, where, like you were saying, where it says Activision staff were told in January, regardless of doctors' recommendations or severe medical conditions, they all must return to the office.
That's so fucking weird.
And so but the thing that's kind of crazy about it is that they were told this in January, and they're just now deciding to strike whenever the the biggest game of the year is out or whatever. Like, why didn't you strike in fucking January whenever they made this mandate?
Well, and here's the other thing, real quick. The title of the article says Black Ops 6 developers walk out. But then you read it and it says it's just the QA testers. Are they considered developers?
I mean, if they work for the development studio, I suppose that there's like a blanket statement being made there. But I don't know. Like I said, I feel like I'm being too hard on the workers. But keep in mind that this is coming from two people that have to do a lot of commuting every single day just to work our jobs. And so whenever you hear this type of thing and they're like, they won't let me work from home, it's like, yeah, so? Like, how many people get to fucking work from home, even doing office jobs? It's like, it seems to me where unless you were specifically hired as a remote worker, then and to be honest with you, if you were hired as a remote worker and your contract or the company policy dictates that they can require you to come back into the office, that's part of the game. And maybe, if you don't agree with that, I don't see why they don't have the right to just fucking fire you, to be honest with you. But I don't know if are they a union? Do you know?
Dude, I don't know. And I also know that it's like, it is kind of, I mean, Activision are no saints.
Yeah, nobody wants to defend Activision because they're fucking. I'm taking this from the perspective of like general studio A versus
or any employment, period,
or any company,
not even game companies.
I don't know. I mean, if I had a chance, if I was allowed to work from home, would I enjoy it? I don't know. I mean, I think that I would really have trouble doing my job as effectively if I worked solely from home. If I worked from home like 1 or 2 days a week, I think I could probably make a good go at it. But I don't know, dude. And if I'm going to even take this a little bit sort of off the rails a little bit, I think some of these people need to get out and socialize, to be completely honest with you. Like, how many people have locked themselves up since COVID, and now they're just like, they don't go out anymore. They don't see anybody. There are all these studies about what COVID is going to do to the next generation and everything. And I don't know. Fuck it.
Let's move on.
Just stay home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Didn't think that was going to turn into such a big conversation.
Sorry.
No, I'm glad that it did. It's more content for everybody. I just
I honestly, to be completely fair, just as a closing remark, if there is anyone listening that has like legitimate talking points to the contrary, please write in, because I would love to know the flip side of the argument, because like I said, both of us are coming from the perspective of people who are required to work in the office. And
I think ultimately,
no way that
to add what you're saying, doctor's note, stay the fuck home. You know what I mean? That's where I'm at. If you have one,
that's why I didn't want to.
I'm not going to ask if it's real. That. I'm not going to question it. If I'm your boss, am I going to think it's kind of a petty bullshit, low blow move on your part? Maybe. If when you left the office, you were running 5Ks and life was good. Now, mental health obviously is different, but like, dude, I don't know. You're skating weird territory. If you're not doing your fucking job from home and I ask you to come in and then you show up with a doctor's note saying that, like, I don't have to, I'm going to have some fucking questions if I'm your boss. Like, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? But anyways, if you have a doctor's note, stay the fuck home. All right, next news point. 109.30. Here we go. Firewalk Studios, studio behind Concord, went kaput. So Herman Holst has consulted with Concord developer Firewalk Studios, and they're going to be shut down, and Concord will not be returning. This comes way
what a fucking blunder! Holy moly!
This comes way of an article from Jason Schreier at Bloomberg, stating 172 people are going to be losing their jobs. And Sony apparently is trying to place these people in the global community of studios where possible. Host has been quoted saying certain aspects of Concord were exceptional, but others didn't land with enough players, and as a result, we took the game offline. We've spent considerable time these past few months exploring all of our options. After much thought, we've determined the best path forward is to permanently sunset the game, close the studio. I want to thank all of Firewalk for the craftsmanship, creative spirit, and dedication. Wow. It's a big deal. Who would have thought?
Yeah, dude, I actually got served this on, I don't know, my feed or something. Was like the actual like Sony Interactive Entertainment like press release or whatever for this. So I read the actual press release from whatever. And I was gonna text you, but I was like, there's no way he doesn't put this in the show, because I think it was like yesterday or the day before I saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is crazy. Like Neon Koi, whatever. I mean, that was the mobile studio that has been kind of percolating for a while, and they haven't fucking done anything. So we don't really know anything about them. But dude, freaking Firewalk and Concord, and like how many, not just millions, not just tens of millions, but how many hundreds of millions of dollars did they just flush down the fucking toilet with this?
At least 200.
I can't even believe it. I can't believe it, because not only did they probably spend $100 or $200 million on the game, but they bought the team.
Is there a moment?
They're fucking closing all of it.
Let me ask you this: is there a moment where the lights are shut off? You know, there's one last employee sitting at Firewalk, and all the code is pulled up on the screen for Concord, the last file, and they just press delete, and it's just gone forever. Like, I love that idea. It's so fucking funny.
It's like a sitcom ending.
Yeah, it's just like, boom,
the fucking
credits roll. $200 million later. This guy just has to push the button at the very end. They do a visual. All the employees are gone. You know, it's the last day of the month. The lease is out. You know, and it's just one guy just struggling with this. I can't fucking believe, just pushes the button and fucking deletes it. I love
janitor sweeping the floor and throws the last computer in the dumpster.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Like I have never even heard of a fucking financial disaster this bad.
Dude, Terra Nova Alpha Centauri did better than this.
You're not wrong.
And they said it was a disaster.
Crazy. Dude, I can't believe it. I seriously, like, I'm very rarely excitable about business stuff in video games or whatever. But like this particular thing, I just am just gobsmacked by the sheer incompetence of this entire thing, and how nobody thought to raise their hand and be like, hey, we're about to make hundreds of $million worth of a mistake. And dude, it's crazy. I don't even really know what else to say about it. Like I said, it's like, I feel bad for the folks at Neon Koi, but we really didn't know anything about them or what they were doing. Yeah. And they were mobile studios, so like our audience.
I'm gonna take that off of my timestamps. Neon Koi.
Yeah, like I don't know that I necessarily really care that much about that. No, I mean, I obviously feel bad for the people, but as far as like PlayStation Studios are concerned, like nothing they were gonna do was really gonna appeal to me anyway. But Dude, the fact that, like, it's so bad they didn't even want to salvage the talent to try and make something else or work on something else. Like, even if they didn't want to continue with Concord, they're like, nope, this team that we just bought, that we just spent all this money on, they just pressed the fucking red button and dropped a nuke on it. And now maybe they did that because they can do like at the end of the year, they can do a shitload of writing off and get some tax money back and all that. And maybe that's the real, reason why they're doing this. But yeah, man, I really don't even know what else to say about it other than
the gameplay trailer for Concord has 1 million views on YouTube.
Yeah, and approximately 100 people played it.
It's so fucking weird.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. I mean, I don't know if you have any other thoughts on it, but it really, when I saw that, I was just like, dude, could you imagine what you could do with even $1 million? No. Now imagine you took that. That's like, I don't know. Let's just say that's like probably let's say it's 6 times the value of your house. And it's like, or 5 times the value of your house. Now let's say you took that house and you lit it on fire, rebuilt it, and lit it on fire 200 times. That's how much money we're talking about here. On the low end. That's fucking crazy. It's crazy to me. Anyway, I'm done.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's kind of wild. Let's get on the next news point. Not a that'll go down in the annals of history for Sony for sure. It was a big blunder. This is a fun news point. Just to bring this up, this was on Push Square. I thought it was hilarious. There was apparently some PlayStation gamer that went on and bought $2,000 worth of PS Plus subscription to last to 2048. Bought it at this price because he anticipates it's just going to go higher down the road. And I bet, honestly, if they ever cancel the service, they'll owe him a refund, which almost means, due to inflation, will he be making more money or less? Will he be making less money on the refund? I don't know how that would work. Yeah. But anyways, it's hilarious to think about. So somebody bought, I don't know, you do the math, almost 20-some years of PlayStation Plus for $2,000.
So his value is higher if he gets the service.
Yeah.
But if he gets a refund, the money that he will get back at the time he gets it back will be worth less than it was whenever he originally spent it. But
I think he also got a deal. I think he purchased this much on a deal, on a discount.
But even still, man, $2,000 worth of PlayStation Plus, like, what the fuck are you going to do? Like,
he's going to die in a month.
Like, in 2048,
not funny, but it is funny.
Like, what is going to happen? Like, what is PlayStation going to be in 2048?
I'm surprised PlayStation accepted the money.
You don't even... Dude, they don't give a fuck. They're going to take that to the bank and spend it. That's what they're going to do.
What if he's going to what if he turns into a lawsuit in 2040, whatever, whenever they close PlayStation Plus and they don't get a refund? What if he turns into a lawsuit and makes millions?
He could. I mean, it's pretty insane. I mean, I'm sure there will be some version of PlayStation Plus existing for the next, whatever that is. I guess that's, 14 years? But, I don't know, man. This is one of these things where it's like,
that's more
you
than
spend your money.
Years.
Dude, 2048.
That puts us at 2039.
Oh, no, that's... Yeah, sorry. That's
27 years?
24 years.
24
years worth of PlayStation Plus. Dude, it's like, are you... Dude, I'll take your money. Like, I have real shit that I need to spend money on that actually means something to my livelihood. What are you doing? Spending $2,000 on PlayStation Plus.
That's awesome.
I don't know, man.
Well, you made the news. It's
crazy.
That's cool.
You do you, man.
All right. Speaking of deals, I went and did this on the PlayStation app. I repeat, do not forget to do this. If you want to be credited for your purchases on the PlayStation Network through the PS Stars program, you have to go into the PS Stars program on the app and accept the new terms of service. If you don't, you're done with it. You're done with the program. You have to accept them for your account to continue and to get credit. So make sure you do it, everybody. Moving on, last point of news. Last point of news may possibly be more disappointing than Firewalk getting shut down. MinMax had some reporting, and they indicated that of the several new games Naughty Dog are making, they said that the new game that they're working on, their aim is to be less linear, to be more player choice focused, player decision oriented. They've experimented this with Uncharted 4. They experimented in The Last of Us Part 2. They experimented with this with the whatever the one was with Chloe, the expansion. I forget what that was called.
Yeah, Lost Legacy.
Every time Naughty Dog goes to an open world, like a sandboxy area, I fucking cringe. I hate it. I don't want it. I don't like it. Apparently, Neil Druckmann has come out and said different things about how he's drawn to games like the Elder Scrolls and stuff like that. And why can't we have a linear game anymore? Like, why? Why do I have to play Dead Space Remake to have a linear game? Or, you know what? Let's give it up to Supermassive. Even though there's player choice, it still feels linear when you play it.
And maybe that's what they're talking about here. Maybe he's not talking about like an open world game. Maybe he's talking about like, oh, it's a linear story, but you choose your branching paths, kind of like a Detroit Become Human or whatever.
No, Druckmann probably would have said that. You know,
if it is just a fucking open world with a bunch of markers on a map, I'll fucking
and it's Naughty
blow
Dog.
My brains out. But because it's like, what? I don't know, man. Like, I would be infinitely less excited about the game if that's what it is, because the thing that makes Naughty Dog great, not only are their games technical marvels, obviously they are, but what makes their games great is they tell you a compelling story. And I don't give a fuck who you are. If you allow me to run around and fucking do shit at my own pace in this random ass open world and do a bunch of side quests and catch fairies and do all a bunch of shit before I move on to the next quest, you're allowing me to destroy the pacing of your game. Even if it is my own fault, it makes the story inherently less impactful. And I hate to see. I mean, if this is a game that they really want to make and they're really passionate about it, I'm sure that it will be great. But I hope that they're not doing this because they think it's what players want from a Naughty Dog game. Because I've never heard a single person be like, I wish this Naughty Dog game was more fucking open world.
The only way that this is going to be a reality is if they just piggyback off of Factions and the huge map they made or something. But, like, here's my thought process is. So this is on a website I never go to. I just went on Reddit and it linked to this article. This is on twistedvoxel.com. It says, I'm going to read this story real quick, just so we get a better understanding of what the fuck I'm talking about and what the buzz is. It says, contrary to the linear, story-driven titles developed by Naughty Dog, the studio's next game will apparently offer a lot of player freedom based on the latest report. During the latest episode of the MinMax show on YouTube, the host, Ben Hansen, mentioned hearing a few things about the next game from Naughty Dog, including comparison to a game with a lot of player freedom. Hansen heard from somebody very in the know who worked on the next Naughty Dog game that people were not ready for how amazing it is going to be. He also mentioned that the game that they were were referenced as a point of comparison to Naughty Dog's title has a lot of player freedom. MinMax refrained from mentioning the name of the game. Naughty Dog's next title was compared to by his source, and for a good reason. It says it's best to create any kind of preconceived notions in the minds of fans and let them judge the Uncharted and Last of Us developers' new game on its own merits once it has been revealed. We look forward to that whenever that may happen. For now, all we can do is speculate about the kind of player freedom that it may offer, especially in comparison to the studio's previous work. It says earlier this year in an interview with YouTuber Logically Speaking, Naughty Dog's president and game director Neil Druckmann had shared that the studio's next game is really ambitious. He added that parts of the game are really hard to work on. However, he said that he has surrendered to knowing that it is going to be really hard and knowing that it's going to be stressful for members of the development team. Despite the stressful nature of the game's development, Druckmann stated that he wants to make a joyful experience for himself and everybody else on the team. So, I don't like the way that smells. And on the PushSquare site, they said that they had instances where Druckmann had said that he's really taken by the Elder Scrolls in games like that. So, I don't... They're good. They're great. They're the best at one thing. And they're just fucking doing everything to not do the one thing they're good at. It seems. At least, I don't know. I don't know. It's too early to tell what they're working on, but I did not like the parts of Uncharted where you had dialogue options. I did not like the parts of The Last of Us where it felt open world. Was I marveling at the spectacle of all of the cool shit that goes on in the graphics and the animations and all of that stuff was fantastic. But I don't want a big, large open world to get lost in. Leave that to the Red Dead Redemption team. Leave that to Rockstar, Grand Theft Auto. Leave it to fucking Bethesda. We don't need another one of those. You guys are very niche in what you do. That's my opinion. They're so good at what they do that they have to stay in their fucking lane. That's my opinion. But go ahead, Jake.
Yeah, I don't really have much else to add. I think that we might be getting a little bit too prematurely butthurt about this, but to be fair, even with those small open world sections, like the small open world sections in Uncharted and
Last of Us,
The Last of Us, they were by far, in my opinion, the worst parts of those games. They weren't like incredibly disruptive. Now, on the flip side, Lost Legacy was entirely open world in that like open area.
What if that's all it is, the new game?
And I thought that it was good, but I think it's the worst Naughty Dog game of the modern era because of that.
That part ruined it. Yeah.
Yeah. Not that the characters weren't great, not that the story wasn't great, none of that. Like, all that's great. But as far as like my experience playing the game, I liked it the least of everything going back to the first Uncharted game. And so it's unfortunate to hear this, and I hope that all that this means is that they're going to break the mold somehow. They're going to make me give a shit about something. And if anyone can do it, it's Naughty Dog. I hope it's not just like this is like fucking Horizon, but it's a Naughty Dog game. And it's like, okay, well, I don't really want that unless you can make it Naughty Dog somehow.
Right.
Like, make it a way where it's like, if the game was completely dynamic in a way that like Elden Ring is dynamic, where you're constantly coming across these events that are like, if they find a way to inject you into this world where every moment, everything you come across is something that's exciting and is filled
Red
with
Dead 2
Naughty Dog energy. Yeah, Red Dead is probably the closest example. But even that is like,
it got repetitive after a while.
I've been fucking running around for 100 hours. Like, I'm ready to be done. And
there's a point where you see everything in a game, right? Like, unless it's truly AI driven, where these things happen on their own. The cool things with Red Dead was like you'd be walking, and somebody would say, "Hey, Mister," and you go over, and they'd lead you somewhere, and then it would turn to, "Hey, help me! Can you shoot these bottles? Let me." Or you'd see like somebody steal a wagon, and you'd have to go like figure out what you were going to do. You know what I mean? There was a lot of random encounters, but they started to loop after a while.
You know what would be awesome? And I don't know that nobody's ever had the balls to do this. Maybe they wouldn't want to, but imagine if they made a linear Naughty Dog game. Like, you know how games where like open world games, a lot of time there's like a linear section that teaches you the game and then the game opens up into an open world. Imagine if that linear section was a complete narrative single player story. And then at the end of it, it's like your post-credit shit is you just get access to the world, and now you can do all this crazy side shit, all these like, you know, experience all these weird one-off encounters and all this and fun stuff. I think that would be kind of cool. It's kind of like the best of both worlds. It's like you give me the story I want without letting me get distracted. But at the same time, once it's done, I get this dessert that's just this fully open experience that allows me to experience the world in an open kind of meandering way like you're talking about. Mm-hmm. But like, I don't know that anybody would ever do something like that, because they're like, oh, well, this is an open world game. We want the whole game to be open, you know? And it's like,
could you imagine if someone did that? I don't think anyone's done that. That's a
no, I think it's a cool idea though.
It's a really good idea. Could you imagine? Let's just frame it in the sense of like The Last of Us, because we're talking about Naughty Dog. Imagine the first Last of Us happens, the end. I'll spoil it. Plug your ears, whatever. You're in the car with Ellie. You get back to Jackson. You have that whole experience of what you do, and then it's just like, all right, here you go. Here's from the.
We're in Jackson.
Yeah,
we live here now. Here's all the shit we have to do to maintain the town.
Here's some fucking woods. Here's
go hunting,
car. There's cities nearby. Yeah.
Just fucking, now you have infinite time to do whatever the fuck you want.
Put a fucking base building camp in there. They get raided once in a while. You just fucking do your thing, but it's all open. And then there's random encounters and fucking new weapons that you can find. You get to go be a rancher if you want to be a rancher. You get to go fucking, play guitar if you want to play guitar. Whatever the fuck you want to do. You want to go kill some zombies, clear some areas, you can go do it. But the story's over. Now you make your own story.
I mean, that would be so cool. Even if it was just a way where you could, like, put the game on rails somehow. But I don't know. I mean, it is what it is.
All right, man. Well, that does it for today's episode. This has been episode 349 of PS. This is awesome. We will be back in November with episode 350. Jake, do you have anything you'd like to add or say to the listeners? I have one thing I want to say before I let you take the mic. Mm-hmm. Be careful of all the candy you're eating. Make sure it's not poisoned.
Watch for razor blades.
Watch for rise up lights. And so this is a joke. I don't know where Troy got it from. So let me dial it back real quick. If you say the words rise up lights really fast, it sounds like you're saying razor blades in a really thick accent. Rise up lights.
Like you're fucking Australian or something.
It's a hack. It's so good. Yeah. Watch out for rise up lights. All right. Be careful out there. But enjoy trick or treat. If anybody's dressing up to hand out candy, or if your kids are dressing up, I don't want to see pictures of your kids, but if you're walking around and you have a costume on yourself, send it on over to PS. This is awesome. I want to see what everybody's Halloween costumes are. I'm going to be Michael Myers. I can't wait. Jake, nice. That's all I have to say. Just be safe out there, people.
Yeah, I'm not going to dress up for Halloween. In fact, this weekend, I'm planning on go the opposite direction, and I'm looking into buying a new suit because I need one, and also my cousin's wedding is coming up, so I'd like to look snazzy for that. The one last thing that I wanted to say, just to touch back with the music, is that I've been, like, since their inception, I've been a really big fan of the band Ghost. You know who I'm talking about? And I've seen them in concert. Troy's seen them a bunch too. I know he loves them as well. But Sarah and I have seen them in concert like, I don't know, like 6 or 8 times, like a lot. And the first time I saw them in concert was when they were starting up, when they were touring to kind of promote like the imminent release of their second album. And I saw them at Mr. Smalls in Pittsburgh, which you've been there before, right?
Oh yeah.
So it's like a tiny venue.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty big for a band like us, but yeah, it is tiny for a band like Ghost.
Right. So so it's like an old church that they kind of hollowed out and made a venue. And as we've been seeing them over the years, they've gotten progressively bigger and bigger of an audience, and their venues have been getting larger. The last time we saw them in concert was where the Pitt Panthers play in Meadville, or in Pittsburgh. Mm. It's a basketball stadium. And then I just saw that they announced the 2025 tour dates, and they're playing in Pittsburgh, and they're playing where the fucking Penguins play.
Wow.
And it's like, do you ever have this experience with a band where you're used to being able to pay $30 to $50 and go see them up close because you're seeing them at small venues and shit. And then before you know it, they're this huge band, and now you got to pay hundreds of dollars to even get even remotely close to the stage. And
yeah, I know what you mean.
It's kind of, I feel it's great for them, and I'm happy for their success, but it's frustrating from an enjoyer of them that now it's like way more of a commitment to be able to sort of get the same experience I had even 5 years ago for the same band.
Yeah, Mr. Smalls has a 1,000 cap, 800 in the theater itself. So if you have people standing,
right,
whatever.
And PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh is I think like 19,000 or something.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it's wild. But I saw Eric Clapton there last year.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. Huh.
Yeah. So
cool. Well, start thinking about a Christmas song so the Flood can get one released this winter.
'Tis the season 2.
Yeah, we need to come up with one. I've tried to come up with some lyrics and stuff. Nothing's going to be as good as that song.
I think we just need to get a good jingle and then just kind of put some fucking just like stereotypical Christmassy kind of shit on there. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, I'll think about it.
All right, think about.
We're getting to that season.
Think about song context. We could bang one out like we did last time. All right. Well, anyways, that's all we got. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you guys next week. Sorry for the delay in today's episode. We were kind of hung up earlier this week, but we're gonna get this out to you come hell or high water. So, like Frank Stone, Frogger, and Fallout. P.S.
P.S.
This is awesome.
Awesome.